going on, Jerome's? Beautiful Friday, and finally, game day is nearly upon us. Sunday, the 2-0 Minnesota Vikings welcome in star quarterback CJ Stroud and the also 2-0 Houston Texans. Super Bowl preview? Maybe a little ahead of ourselves, but a major test for the Vikings. Now, the Niners game, obviously important in conference, but this is going to be a great litmus test to see where the Vikings are at. The Texans, even though they had a rough time with the Bears on Sunday Night Football, I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league, and this is going to be a major conflict. And the Vikings, if and when the Vikings get a win here, I think you can firmly say that they're amongst the best in the league in 2024. You can probably say that now, but yeah, man. But yes, beyond all of the narratives, Texans revenge game. I forgot Case Keenum on here too, but he's on IR. So no Buffalo Right 7 heaven on Sunday, as well as going the other direction. A lot of current Vikings are former Texans, but it's all noise. All at the end of the day, it's ball. It's ball. So here's Tan. Keys for the Vikings to get a victory on Sunday. Number 1. Flores flusters Stroud. Now, Brian Flores is fantastic at disguises. He's fantastic at bringing unique heat. He's great at calling ballsy calls all the time. And CJ Stroud, don't get me wrong, you can make a very good case that CJ Stroud is a top 5 quarterback in the league right now, and he's not 5. It's amazing what he's done very early in his second year. He led the Texans to a divisional title and the playoffs last season. So you have to respect what he does. But also, he's a second-year quarterback. Right, and even though Stroud does his homework and he's one of the most prepared quarterbacks in the league, and he's got a huge arm, he's accurate, he's confident, he's huge, he's got some mobility, Vikings can bring it. And this is going to be Brian Flores' finest hour, as this defense does indeed, that's the wrong slide, this defense does indeed have the personnel to be multiple up front. And I got a feeling like the game plan that you're going to see for Stroud is going to look nothing like the game plan for Purdy, and absolutely nothing like the game plan for Daniel Jones. I love the Vikings' depth up front, especially in the front 7, because it allows them to do so much stuff, right? So this is going to be a really fun game against one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. Next up, number 2, body up Nico Collins. So a big way to fluster up CJ Stroud is to take away his favorite target, Nico Collins. And even though, Stephon Diggs can talk all he wants, Nico Collins is the number 1 receiver in this on this team. And Collins is a true blue X receiver. He's a Michigan man. He's 6'4". He's absolutely huge, but also he's dinged up a little bit. Right, so at the end of the Bears game, there was a hitch in his giddy up, and even though he practiced the last 2 days, you can sort of tell there's a little limp going on with his hip/foot injury. So this also could be a spot too where the Vikings finally bust out more man coverage, because even though Flores all off season talk about want to play more press man, they're still playing a lot of zone. Now that might be matchup dependent, but this time around it just sort of feels like maybe Stephon Gilmore is going to get licensed to travel with Nico Collins, or either way, Gilmore and Griffin going to body up Collins a little bit more, especially if he is a step slower. I mean, Nico Collins isn't a burner per se either, but he is a big play waiting downfield. And a lot of times, Stroud's kill shots downfield are like, F it, Nico's down there somewhere. Whew. It's tough, man. Next up, numero trace. Attack the A-gaps. So for the Texans, their starting center, Juice Scruggs, is dinged up, as well as his replacement, Jared Patterson, also got banged up. Right now, they are trending towards playing on Sunday, but they're not going to be 100%. And also, the Texans, in a way, sort of mirror the Vikings. Laremy Tunsil is one of the best left tackles in the game, future Hall of Famer. Titus Howard has developed nicely as well. So, the Texans have great tackles. The interior, you can make some hay. Now, I think Scruggs is solid, but he is dinged up, right? And if Patterson goes, let's get it, man. As well as Kenyon Green, as well as veteran Shaq Mason, you can get something done against them. Also, no Joe Mixon, no Dameon Pierce either, in all likelihood. So this could be the Cam Akers revenge game, but having their top 2 running backs down, as well as the middle of their offensive line being susceptible, this could be yum time for Brian Flores. And it could be a spot where So Flores is really good at disguises. He's also really good, especially on third down. That double A gap mug look, which Zimmer brought in vogue, and every single team runs a variant of now. But just attacking those A gaps, constantly having pressure in that spot, and quick immediate pressure in CJ Stroud's face, that could be a way to get things done on Sunday. Next up, numero 4, Diggs underneath. So that Stephon Diggs, he wants revenge. Right. And I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Diggs because of the Minneapolis Miracle. It didn't end great. And he keeps talking about the Vikings, which, man, move on, bro. Move on. But that he wants this one bad. Now, Diggs has become basically the slot receiver for the Texans. He's played 60% of his snaps in the slot, and he's killer on third down. Those underneath routes, those drags, sitting in the dead spots of the zone, and he is CJ Stroud's best friend on third down. So this is going to have to be a very alert game for Byron Murphy, as well as the middle of the Vikings coverage, whether it's Pace and Cashman, whether it's the safeties, whether it's everyone. Yeah, you got to know where number 1 is. Put a body on him in a very, very legal and very sporting and physical way. That's all. We ain't trying to be Jonathan Vilma up in here, man, but play tough, clean football. 5, Sam Darnold keeps on keeping on. So slinging Sam Darnold, I don't have the graphic, America's quarterback. All right. So Darnold is essentially top 10, top 8 in basically every single quarterback category. And like I said, he's not reinventing the wheel. He's operating the offense. He's making quick decisions, getting the ball out, and he's looking very comfortable out there. And, Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. Yeah, who knew that was just with the Jets and the Panthers? Shocker. But like I said, he doesn't need to press. Like, he doesn't need to do anything outside of himself. Like, be efficient, take what's there, and there will be 2, 3, 4 throws a game, especially on third down, especially in the red zone, where you got to make a play. That's it. Don't have to try and do too much, right? So that's exactly what 14 has to do. Ooh, the new 14, as opposed to Stephon Diggs. Number 6, Daniil versus O'Neal. So this is going to be a heavyweight fight. This is going to be glorious. So Daniil Hunter, last 2 years, respect, turned himself into a pretty solid stand-up outside linebacker, career-high 16.5 sacks last year, has 1.5 sacks this year, has a fistful of pressures back at his normal left defensive end spot, and yeah, it is going to be Daniil versus O'Neal hardcore on Sunday, as he's played about 87% of his snaps on that left side. Now, 55. Yeah, it's weird. Daniil's 55. Yeah, but of course, I guess 99 for the Texans is spoken for whatever reason. But yeah, Darnold will sprinkle a little bit more with Darrisaw too. But I mean, it is going to be Brian O'Neill. It is going to be Josh Oliver on that right side. And basically, like, if you are able to shut down Darnold, and if Darrisaw is able to handle Will Anderson on the other side, I mean, you can be pretty good to go. Even though Ryan's like, he loves blitzing his off-ball linebackers in To'o and Alshire, but I'm not too worried. I'm a little worried. I'm very worried. Next up, number 7. Speaking of which, so keep To'o and Alshire busy. So they love to blitz, and they're very good in coverage, and for my money, they're one of the more underrated off-ball combos in the game. So, To'o, former Stanford stud, Alshire, former San Francisco 49er. So they're going to be tough. They are going to be tough. And what you got to do, play action and run the bejesus out of the football in the middle. I think that's going to be the name of the game here. Plus, just keeping them busy and use their aggressiveness against them. Like I said, use that play action, have them bite, hitting them underneath and over the top. It's going to be key. And also the Vikings offensive line, I mean, they're gaining confidence in the running game. They're PFF's number 2 run blocking team through 2 weeks. And whether it's the top 5 up front, whether it's Oliver, whether it's Munt, whether it's CJ Ham, whether it's receivers downfield, like, they're getting after things, man. And Jones and Chandler are averaging 5.5 yards per tote on the ground, and they need to be involved. And frankly, Ty Chandler needs to have even just more work. Like, keep Aaron Jones on that pitch count, keep him fresh late in the game, and also late in the season. Do that up. Next, number 8, Justin friggin' Jefferson legacy game. So it's all set up. Like, he's coming in with the quad injury. Oh, we don't know if he's going to go. He says he's going to go. Will he be 100%? Derek Stingley is a massive stud. Like, he's one of the best young corners in the game, and he's probably going to be traveling with Jefferson as well. Do not care. I do not care at all. Like, obviously, they're going to sell it to stop 1-8, but I think the Jets is going to have a massive, massive game. Like, 10 catches, 12 targets, 150-plus yards, maybe a couple touchdowns. Yeah, I think Jefferson is going to have a statement like, can't hurt me, and against one of the best defenses and one of the best corners in the game, show up and show out. Next up, number 9, clean up mistakes. So, I mean, the Vikings won convincingly against the Niners, but it should have been an even wider margin of victory. But, special teams errors, Dallas Turner not downing that, but Turner's not playing on Sunday. Diving on loose balls when you have opportunity, the Darnold interception. I know it's Fred Warner, but he didn't even see him. It's rough. As well as, of course, that Aaron Jones fumble on the goal line. Can't have it. So clean up mistakes, win the turnover battle. Kevin O'Connell's 19-0 when his team wins or is even in the turnover battle. So keep after it. Lastly, number 10, Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores stay aggressive. And that's the name of the game because, well, you don't really need to tell Brian Flores not to be aggressive because even though the Vikings are blitzing significantly less, they're still mixing things up and playing games up front and just really getting after the offense. So you don't have to worry about that. And Kevin O'Connell, you really have to respect the way that Kevin O'Connell has progressed as a play caller. Like, there's a lot more things that flow off each other. There's a lot more things that make sense. Scheming receivers wide open, making things easier for Sam Darnold, as well as I love the halfback pass. It was a spot where the Vikings needed to stay in field goal range, not screw up and get that 3. But touchdown ends the game. And I love the call in retrospect, man. So keep on keeping on, and just coach to win. Play to win. Don't coach and play not to lose. Don't do that. So final score prediction. I actually think that this is going to be a tough, physical, low-scoring game. I think that this is going to be like an old-school slobber-knocker type game. I think the Vikings are able to get a lot of things done on the ground. I think Jefferson has himself a monster game. I think that Darnold stays clean. But, I mean, I think the Texans defense also shows up loud and proud. And I think maybe Daniil gets a sack, as well as I do think that the Flores defense gets after C.J. Stroud. I think that he makes a mistake or two. But overall, like, this is a very tough and good football team. This is going to be a very near-run thing. So give me Vikings 20, Texans 16. So the Vikings moved to 3-0 after a tough, hard-fought win. Again, Super Bowl preview. Yeah, as long as that number 1-5 with the Chiefs is around, maybe not. Maybe not. But that's it. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts. What are your keys for the Vikings to get a win on Sunday? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.